polygamy, monogamy, trigonometry, none of that matters. It's all a discipline. If you are not disciplined in knowing how to find balance when you meet anybody, especially in dating, I'm focused on dating. When you meet anybody in dating, if you yourself do not know who you are and what you like when it comes to, am I playing games or am I serious, right? You're always going to mess it up. Doesn't matter. If you are only going into a polygamous relationship or monogamous relationship just to play, it's not going to last. You're going to mess it up. If you are a serious-minded person, which means you understand that no matter what relationships you end up in, it's a discipline to make sure that you show up for yourself, you show up for that person, you understand that you're going to have to be empathetic to yourself and empathetic to that person and sympathetic at times. There's going to be times where you can't win. Being a player is about winning. Being serious is about getting the ultimate prize. You're not trying to win any stupid games. You want to win the whole prize, right? If you understand this, then anytime you meet someone and they say, this is what I want, this is what I'm anticipating, you just have to say, I'm just here to play. Or I'm just whatever. If you say you don't know, you're in the play side. Serious knows. If you don't know, you're in the play side. I'm sick of people saying, well, what if you're in the middle? I'm a bridge keeper for a very long time, and I realized just sitting there on your hands saying nothing, doing nothing, and but you always have an opinion about the collective, or you're only choosing one side to be on while you're still sitting on the line in the fence and holding up the bus for everybody else. No more of that. Either you are serious or you're not. You can still go out and be fun and single and live your life. But when you meet someone, if someone walks up to you and says, hey, you're attractive, or hey, you seem interesting, or hey, can I get your number? In that moment, you already know your own life, right? So if that person doesn't know, it is your choice to say, I'm a mess. You probably should just walk away, right? And if they keep begging, that means that you're calling in the energy of mess and you're getting to see the actual reflection of what messiness looks like. If you yourself know that you're messy in your head and you're just out there playing, and then you meet messy people, that's a reflection of you. So if you say, I'm going to participate in this connection, guess what? Now you got toxic relationships. Now you got trauma bonding. Now you got all these things where I'm a good person. I don't understand how this happened. Yes, you did. Because you knew that when you went into it, you was playing a game. You knew you weren't ready for nothing. But you was wanting something. You were lustful. Nothing wrong with that. But most people aren't honest about their lust. Be honest about it. There are people out there who are willing to just be DTF, right? No problem. And there's people out there who want to cuddle and just have a little snuggles, but they don't really want anything serious. Yeah, those are the people out there playing with everybody's emotions. And these are the same people who then create podcasts and other stuff and Red Pill and all the stuff they talk about. And they dump on a community of everyone trying to just figure out what a real genuine connection means. For myself, no matter how flamboyant, cocky, loud, know-it-all, arrogant I come off, because I can. Again, when you're a big guy, you're never going to change that perspective because people have to look up at you. And that triggers an emotional response to them that says, yeah, he thinks he's my dad, or he thinks because he's bigger than me. No, I don't. I'm just existing in my body, but because I'm bigger than you, I'm always going to push off a certain energy, right? I know that this happens with people about me, so I had to ask myself, you can't be out here running around being too soft. I'm not saying being soft is bad, but emotionally, I had to learn as a man, regardless of orientation, sexuality, all that. As a physical man, I had to choose which energy do I want to step into, my masculine more or my feminine more. And so I said, well, listen, I'm both. How do I make both happen? And I worked with myself because you can choose to be one over the other. You can choose to be all feminine energy and let everybody just take care of you, and your wrist is broke forever, and that's okay if everyone's okay taking care of you that way. Just know there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do protection-wise because you haven't prepared yourself. So you can't get mad at the world where you didn't prepare yourself to be a little tough, to know how to handle tough situations. Same thing with too hard. If you're always too hard and you're wondering why no one wants to come to you, well, unfortunately, if you're the hard one and you set all the boundaries, you're going to have to allow yourself to Re-cushion yourself. Put a little padding on. Go out there and play again. It's okay to be a little messy once in a while because you've already proven you have the discipline to not get sucked into the vortex. If you don't know how to do that, do not go back out there and play with people because you're going to end up playing with yourself, and that's how you're going to come back and get hurt. That's why a lot of people think when they look at somebody, when I was younger, they'd be like, oh, you're a player. No, I never promised anyone anything. I just know how to take care of my partners really, really well to the point that they feel like, man, I could fall in love with this person. As a young boy, I didn't know that that was a superpower. I just know that I grew up in a very loving home for the most part with hugs and kisses and affirmations, right? So that's what I did when I met partners, not knowing they never had it. So then they're looking at me like, oh, this is a real deal. And I'm like, no, it's not. But I become the villain in that situation. So I had to remind myself, like, okay, I can't be out here just playing with everybody. I got to be serious minded because my type of play is way more destructive than somebody else's type of play. And it's not fair that some of us have this power and others don't, but it's the truth. One person can screw somebody over and they don't really care because they're really not that into them. But if you're really into somebody, physically, mentally, spiritually, sexually, all of that, and they're not into you, it hurts. It makes you feel like, why am I not worthy? And it's like, it's not that you're not worthy. That person wasn't in the state of mind to be serious, so they're just going to play. If you're in a monogamous relationship, you have to understand that the discipline is not trying to be with only one person. No, that's for children. The discipline is saying, I only want to be with one person because I only have the emotional capacity to hold this person. And because of that, I'm going to give them as much love and protection as possible. And hopefully it's reciprocal, right? If you're in a polygamous relationship, it's the same thing. You have to be open enough to understand that whoever you are, it doesn't matter in the groups. If you're male, female, it doesn't matter. When those groups, it comes back to masculine and feminine energy, right? Because you have to be a secure person to be able to be a masculine and feminine to let your partner go out and be appeased by both things, right? Because usually in those situations, in my opinion, it's always about the guy's ego. He has to know how to say, I'm okay with that. Because I know that I am secure enough that our connection spiritually is tight enough that we're not worried about the physical part. Our bodies are going to pass anyway. So spiritually, we're good. We're going to come back to each other because we know how to let each other be both energies. This is the discipline I talk about with people. Because you have to remember, when we look at every other culture, we just see, okay, a man and a woman, or we just see masculine and feminine. But at the end of the day, it's all of it. That means we're both. If we're all of it and we're all integrating and mixing and making babies and all this stuff, that means you're both energies. So whichever relationship you decide to be in, you have to know how to yield both those energies properly in your relationship so that you're allowing your partner to do the same for them, which is how you get those types of connections where it's like, wow, that's a power couple. Man, they just seem so happy together. Because they're not trying to make you fit into a box. They're allowing you to be what you're choosing to be because you're either serious for it and know that you can handle it, or you're out there playing. But don't try to blame that energy on things that you actually haven't put into practice, but all y'all want to rush into relationships because it looks cute or it looks good, or because you think, oh yeah, well, I can slay that pipe. That doesn't mean that you deserve multiple partners, right? That doesn't mean that you deserve one partner. It means that you understand that there's a sense of pleasure that you can provide, but that shouldn't be your identity either. So when you're choosing what type of connection you want to go into, make sure you know that you're done playing and you're serious and you're ready to grow up. Or not. It's up to you. Love ya.